people because I there are people that tell me they're not, that they're not going to attend. Yeah, and I send them. I talk to everybody like there's still 100 people on because I send this out to a lot of the people in the group. They tell me, they got things, especially at Christmas, they got family and stuff. So go ahead and share kind of what I did today, a little bit today, more on. This is good. I'll get into a little TC stuff, but I'm mostly trying to show people how, because there's Deal Machine, Prop Stream, all these batch leads, Goliath, Investor Lift. They're spending people spend like $599 a month or whatever on subscriptions. So and I posted that earlier. I get four emails today from ChatGPT. You can see them over here in my chats. The one I'm working tonight is the top 25 actionable opportunities. I also go in every Thursday, the Thursday market update, and I get the top actionable. These are in Colorado because I can go and drive by them if they're in the Denver area, so I can go and kind of verify, when I'm trying to do proof of concept. And then I gotta distress. I gotta roll up. So every week I get a roll up, and I get like a lot of top opportunities. I set up 6,513 zip codes in 50 markets, and we're expanding to 250 by the end of the year next year. So by 2027, that's just really what I'm doing is priming the market, so everyone can, when they onboard, they put their markets, their zip codes. And you want to tell people, especially when you have clients and stuff, if you ever promote it, you people want to search by county and zip code. City and state's okay, but county and zip code is where the searches really accelerate. And so, because all the AHJs, those authority having jurisdictions, all the clerks and sheriffs and trustees, all are in counties usually. Sometimes it's a city and county. Denver has a city and county. Broomfield, which is a city up by Boulder, north of Denver, has a city and county. And obviously, you get in Orlando, you get in a lot of places will have a city, but for the most part, it's mostly the counties, unless it's like the courts. In some states, the courts are, in like Colorado, all the courts go through the county judicial branch. Even if it says Jefferson County or El Paso County courthouse, it's still, everything's coordinated through one state. So you can actually go to the county judicial branch and you can pull up probate cases and all that, which makes it easier. So tonight I pulled up some lists this morning, and it's cool. These are, we tell people these really aren't lists. It's distress intelligence. So you always want to promote RCIC or RSIC as distress intelligence. It's intelligence. It's not like lists. It's not like any of these where they, the prop tech companies give everybody like 1,000 properties and they have to be skip traced and people have to go manually through it. When they set up their markets and their buy boxes, it automatically will go through, let's say, like 49 foreclosures filings in El Paso County, Colorado, which is Colorado Springs and the area around it, like the Air Force Academy and stuff. Fort Carson's there. It'll actually go through and like if somebody sets up their buy box and they spend some time on it during the onboarding process, out of those 49, it might pull up like the 8 that actually meet their exact requirements. It's pretty sweet. Really, really sweet. So that way, people don't waste time. They get exactly what they're looking for. So it's a good thing. People don't have to go through hundreds of properties. If people are wholesaling, then they can open it up a little bit. So that way they can go through and they might be able to wholesale half those properties or whatever if that's what they're doing. So they can kind of go either way. I tell people it's kind of like a funnel, for cooking or a funnel for an oil change. Everything's going to go in the top, and what's going to come out the bottom is exactly what they want. So it's kind of that way. So what they want to do is it's timing and jurisdiction rather than raw volume. So instead of 1,000, you get down to like 50, and then it gets down to like the 10 that actually work. And generally, the timing on this is people can actually go through and literally I can get these at 9 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock, 10:30, I can have them fully analyzed. I can pull comps. I can do the rehab and scope of work because I can pull pictures from Zillow, Redfin, and all that. I can enter the pictures through Ask Anything, and I can compare it to recent sales in that area. So I can see what they've done for rehab. I can put pictures in from those properties, and it'll compare it, and it'll build me a rehab. So, like I said, if it needs just cosmetic light rehab, it can give me ranges. It can connect me to a website called HomeWise, which is home, and then it's wise is WYSE.com, and it can pull a lot of pricing data. So it doesn't do really a lot with commercial. You can a little bit, but with residential, HomeWise can really be precise, and people can literally go in there and spend a little time building up they can go through and do everything in a residence. It's designed for that. There's a couple other ways they can do it if they want to pay. If they want to pay extra outside of RSIC, they can get RS Means, or they can get a subscription to Xactimate. I used Xactimate, which is this company called Xactware, when I was doing a restoration, because Xactimate is all the insurance pricing. So if you're somebody's flipping a house and you want to make profit, why not use what the insurance company pay? Because you can get work done for that, because contractors do the work for that. And you have a guide, you have a national guide that's customized to that zip code, but it's also insurance companies pay less. So you can use that difference as a profit margin. So I tell people there's a couple different ways to do it, but HomeWise is, you can dial right into HomeWise. So you get the fresh NED intelligence. NED is notice of election demand. Some states use NED. Some states use what they call list pendens, LISPENDS, which is more of for judicial foreclosure. It's actually a legal process that goes to the court, whereas NEDs and some of the other terms don't go through courts in non-judicial. And especially as a TC, you want to also know about judicial versus non-judicial. And I can give you a map and all the states that are judicial versus non-judicial. Your clients will like non-judicial states a lot better, because you can literally you got 4 months until the sale. So if there's a filing today, it probably not till the end of March, almost April is when the sale is. So people have that long to go ahead and try to make a deal. They can make a deal with the property owner, or they can make a deal maybe with the mortgage company, the lien holder. So they get all the information. They get all people get like more information they're ever going to need. There's going to be information that all of a sudden people could be looking for. They got it. They don't have to go back and try to find it again. They get handed everything in an NED filing. I'll send you a couple. I pulled up a couple today, so I'll send them to you afterwards as the actual filings, like an NED file and a pre-sale. There's generally three different documents. So you get the sales stage intelligence, and then you get the post-sale overbid. We'll talk more about overbids later on, probably in January, because it's a cool process where people actually leave money on the table. Because you can imagine if a lender's owed $200,000 and the bid is $208,000, people will say, where does that $8,000 go? Because the lender's not getting $208,000; they're getting $200,000. And most states are not allowed to actually go get more money than what they're owed. They're usually just allowed to be made whole. So there's a surplus and overbid funds. I didn't know anything about it until September when I was building this. It came up one day. And I've been doing this 8 years as a private money broker. First time I ever heard about surplus and overbid funds. So I'm putting something together for everybody in the group, because there's kind of some cool ways that in some states you can actually legally help people as a consultant. In some states you have to wait. In Colorado, you can't make money as a third party for 2.5 years. So what happens to the money after 6 months? In Colorado, it goes to the state treasurer's office, and they hold it until somebody claims it, or they go through the process of getting the money. So it's kind of cool. So instead of blasting, we do zip clustering. So like 80911 is the zip code in Colorado Springs in El Paso County. Instead of blasting, you get precision, precisely what people are looking for. So to explain, AHG is the authority having jurisdiction. So investors fail. They don't respect AHJ boundaries. They don't understand AHJ. It's probably something that because real estate investors are dealing with prop tech companies like Deal Machine and Propstech and PropStream. They're getting a subscription. They're getting dialed in. PropStream and Deal Machine their people are doing all the work, or they're getting a list. So they're not seeing. Nobody's seeing it. So imagine, Dakota, and Willie just signed on to it, or you see to him how. And he's a TC as well. Imagine being able to get the foreclosure filing within an hour of it actually being filed. How incredible that would be to have 3 or 4 month head start. And the prop tech companies and list sellers aren't even going to see them for about a month. Hey Willie, what's up? How are you? I just started. Got Dakota on. I don't know if you've met him yet.
I have. What up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Another day, bro. Another day.
Yeah, I hear you on that one, brother.
Yeah, got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm trying to go through a little bit before I get to the TC stuff, but getting a little bit more dialed in. Dude, this Willie, I was able to pull this morning, literally almost 150 foreclosures in Colorado in just 4 counties since December 1st.
Oh man,
Yeah, dude.
that snow season is over, huh?
Well, now it's through December 1st through the 16th. So in El Paso County, Colorado, which is Colorado Springs, there were 74 NEDs, notice of election demands filed in November. There are already 49. I don't know if it'll slow down because of Christmas. It probably will but they're only closed on. They closed early on Wednesday and they're closed on Thursday, and they closed early on the 31st. Other than that, they're open. So who knows? And it's mortgage companies and lien holders aren't gonna wait for the next day like a homeowner might because of the holiday. So who knows? But that's what I've been telling Dakota. Yeah, it's like cool about this. So you obviously get into the public trustee versus the clerk and recorder versus the courts. You got non-judicial like Colorado, judicial Florida, which is there's different processes. So when somebody onboards and they've joined, I've started doing this, Willie. I don't think I've told you this yet because I just really started doing this. Now when somebody onboards, I'm gonna try to first make like a custom pack to get them that's gonna have their AHJs. I'll ask them for what counties, what zip codes, what are the, just so I can kind of give them a pack that already has their, the websites and the stuff to go to. That way in that first 30 days, really 7 to 14 days, but 30 days, they can go visit those with RSIC where they can start like knowing how to access them, knowing how to go whether they have to click on them. They can click on the PDF and just download it, or they got to copy and paste and bring it back here to ask anything. So I'm trying to help people dial into the process to actually obtain those listings, those filings without, it makes it easy because, like I said, that one day I went in 9:36 a.m. and I had 3 counties by 9:38. So it's a pretty good deal. 2 minutes. Took me 2 minutes. And then I can plug in, get my ARV, pull my comps, do my rehab, do a capital passport for lender matching, get the offers written, use comms mode, probably get them all analyzed and done by 10:30, 11 o'clock. Probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's all people have to spend, Dakota, on this. They could really get their day down to about 2 hours. So it does 90% of their work for it. It makes it easier. It doesn't do everything for them. There's things it can't do. It cannot contact people. Things like that. Obviously, they're putting that kind of as a protection thing. So we get 80911 proof of concept. So there's actually this is a real address in Colorado Springs, 112 Easy Street. It's a real address. I looked it up. I looked up the neighborhood and all that stuff. It's kind of in a rural area of El Paso County, kind of near the Air Force Academy, a little bit east of there. So intelligence forms before lists are sold. So you got the trustee, the assessor, the recorder, the post sale. You got a lot of outputs. Cool, Michael's on. That's cool. That's another guy coming on. Michael Lyon, not Michael Bender. So what gets automated versus human verified? So you can go in here and people can say like, give me a clean way to explain this. This is really clean. It's really a start. Let's go ahead and real quick. Michael, what's going on? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good, man. Don't know if you met Dakota or Willie yet. Willie's been around for about 3 years with our group, and Dakota's coming on now. He's a TC transaction coordinator. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the TC stuff, and then I told Eric that I was going to try to help you guys dial in a little bit more than what we did on that call a couple weeks ago. So I'll get something for you guys on that. Because it's coming together. This morning I pulled about 150 foreclosure leads out of Colorado, out of 4 counties in Colorado, and that's just since December 1st. So there's a lot of foreclosures out there. Think about this: there were 35,000 foreclosures filed nationally in the month of November. 35,000. That one up there was just under 31,000 in October. So it's kind of cool about that. Let's see if I can. Let me see if it'll take me to a on-ramp me to. Let me see. Try to get it real quick. On-ramp. That's what we call these on-ramps and off-ramps. Like I was saying, look at RSIC has a interstate highway. I'm gonna go to Arapahoe County, Colorado, because I believe I can. I believe I can pull that real quick. And Ned, because there's some counties I still have to like copy and paste and go through my browser. So keep in mind, guys, that when you go to these counties, you're everything you do on the RSIC end is awesome. The county could be run really advanced, where you can literally pull up all the information like in seconds. And some counties, it's still run by like Mayberry, like they don't put stuff out all the time. You got to hunt around their websites. We can't really do much about it. What I try to do is make sure you know how to navigate that if that's the situation. In some cases, you got to go there and you got to click on something, or do a CAPTCHA or something like that. That I can't control, but I try to help build a map for you, at least a path, so you know how to do it once you get there. It's taken a second to actually come up. Here you go. Arapahoe County, Colorado. It's going to take a second to print this out. And then we'll talk about the TC stuff. Also, we got comms mode, which is awesome. And now I'm even putting in where people can use your agents, like you got in the Ask Anything in your prompt bar. People can set their agents up like to be assistants. You can like a virtual assistant. And I'm looking into getting how to off ramp and on ramp to a dialer. For people to use an AI voice for dialing you can program it. So foreclosures in Arapahoe County, it's non-judicial foreclosure, like the whole state of Colorado. It's a public trustee. So you go through a public trustee. An NAD is the earliest actionable signal. The courts are not involved unless there's a dispute or bankruptcy. That's why I said when you guys are onboarding, I'll try to now make a custom pack for you where we can kind of show you what is judicial or non-judicial, where you're investing at, and what the best path is. That way in that first 30 days, you guys can plug that in and become seamless. Because like I said, it's just every state's different. And sometimes the agencies are different. There's Boulder County, Colorado is next to Broomfield, Colorado. Boulder is very high-tech, very sophisticated. You can get a lot of information instantly in seconds. Where on Broomfield, you kind of got to work your way around their website. There were only 4 foreclosures in Broomfield County last year. Keep in mind that's where the fire was 4 years ago that burned over 1,500 houses. So Broomfield County was a new county. It had just been voted in as not a new county, like a county. It had been a city. And so it's a little bit behind in the times. So you guys are going to prepare for that. That's why I said in that first 30 days when people have it, they really learn their AHJs, learn your counties, learn the jurisdictions and how they work. Because I can provide everything to the world, but like I said, if they got a CAPTCHA puzzle, or if they require some cases of registration, it's like a paywall, but they don't charge you. You still got to go and sign up manually for that. So the primary in Arapahoe County is the public trustee. So there's an official entry point where they have the foreclosure search and reports. So I'm going to go through this real quick, and then I'll come back and I'll hit these links. I'll show you how to hit the on-ramps and off-ramps. So we want to bookmark it. So you always want to bookmark these so you can bookmark them and then go back to them later on. You got the NEDs, you got the sales schedules, and you got the continued and canceled. So it's just like a court case that's continued. Somebody may ask the judge, whatever they may, or the public trustee in this case, to continue it. Maybe they're going to do an intent to, they might have an attorney or something. Trustee sale results, they also have historical data, so you can go back. Like I just pulled up a bunch of stuff for Jefferson County, Colorado. I pulled up a lot of historical data so I can review it and kind of see, like last year, if there were 4,000 foreclosures, whatever it is in that county. I can kind of see when I can look at the average prices and stuff, try to get people that information, because it kind of helps play a role in sometimes in valuation and comps and sale price. So we pull the NEDs, we go to the foreclosure listings PDF, and we'll go by the status, the most recent recorded date, and we got the address. We'll get the foreclosure. There will be a case number. Obviously everyone will be different. You get original sale date, you get the current sale date, you get the lender and their attorney. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you get all the information you need. So we got a clerk and recorder. We can pull the deed of trust. You can check the assignments and loan modifications. You can look at quick claim scams or title noise. So you can go there and see it. You got the tax assessor. So a lot of times, so like in some counties, you can pull up all the information you need. Then you want to go back and then you want to hit the tax assessor in some places because you can go back and put that information where you get what they call the pretty much the assessor card or the property card, and that's going to have a little bit more information. Together, you're going to have enough information. You don't have to skip trace. You'll have all the contact, all the owner contact information, include you'll have every way to contact them. You'll have email, phone, mailing address, and you'll also have the mortgage company, the lien holder. You'll have their account number. You'll have everything, the interest rate. You'll know what they owe. You know what their original principal is, when their maturity date was going to be. You got more information than you need, and I'll show you that in a second. So you go back to the assessor. You can get equity and occupancy signals. So out of the assessor IDs, you can get the parcel ID number. Then you can get the owner name, the mailing address. If it's owner occupied, you can determine if it's or absentee, if it's a rental, market value versus debt. And so this is where distress turns into strategy. Then you come back and you got zip intelligence. So in Arapahoe, you got distress clusters. So you got like the Aurora, Colorado 80010. There's a couple of zip codes. It's a corridor. Aurora is a large city. It's a couple 100,000 people right next to Denver on the east. You got these different zip codes, so it'll tell you where these are. And then Arapahoe is a middle stage market. There's fewer ultra fresh NEDs than Jeffco. Jefferson County is on the west side. It's got the mountains. It's got everything conifer golden. When you guys look at the map, and it's got more continued sales. So you got strategy. So you got strategy windows. So as a real estate investor, you can look at strategy windows. And then you got pre-sale negotiations is strong. Identifying repeat servicers. So you can see a lot of the mortgage companies, a lot of the servicers are the same. You can track borrower behavior. So you can put in this you can go ahead and then in your RSIC, you don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it in mine, but when you guys get these copy codes in these boxes, just, hit the copy code and then go ahead and enter that into the box, and that'll actually put this information into your ecosystem. So that way you got it, then you can it'll actually start helping you track all this. You'll get your NED, you'll get your verifying chain, you'll get your equity and occupancy, and the clustering and the actionable strategies. So real quick, let me see. I'm going to go back here real quick and see if I can do this directly. Sometimes I got to use let's see if I can go directly. If not, we'll see if I can actually go directly. Sometimes I can, sometimes it's... Okay, I can't reach that page there that way. So what I would do in that case, I will go back to it, and I will actually I will just actually click, then go here. And then I just copy and paste. And then I will go through my browser. So in here, I'll go through my browser up here. And we'll see if that doesn't work, it should. So when you go to, in some cases they can have something just off just a little bit. But let me go back and try one more thing and show you guys. Because that is Arapahoe County's website. Let me see if the assessors directly. So let me go through real quick one more time. So that's kind of how you do go through it. Like I said, you can play with it. It'll pull up, these links are a little bit trickier than if it makes like a little wafer looking link. They're a lot easier to go through. But I can show you guys really quick one I pulled earlier. Let me see if I can pull it. I can have it. So I can kind of show you guys what's on a NED. Let me see, NED. And then we'll talk about TC mode. So here's the NED. You got Harris County. I'll just pull this one because this one's a little bit. Can you, this NED for the viewers. And so I'll let it look at that. It'll take a second to read it. This is actually a fresher chat that I had last night, and you guys know when it was dragging. So when it starts dragging, you get this like little thing that's flashing. It looks like maybe it's like a buffering thing. It's just thinking. In some cases, like I showed last night, if it just takes too long, you can use refresh up here, or you just be a little patient. Or I will actually just I don't like to do it on Zoom because then I gotta you guys have seen it probably already, or I gotta work my way back to the Zoom. So there's a couple extra steps. You don't have to do that, so don't ever think you have to do that. It's just that's how I have to do it with the Zoom, where I'll just actually go up here to the X, close it out, and I got the icon at the bottom, so I can go right back to it. So right now it's coming on. It's actually generating it. It's reading that NED, notice of election demand. So I'll have it kind of explain it to you, and then we'll go into TC mode. And comms mode is awesome too. We'll get comms mode. It's pretty sweet. So this is a walkthrough. So let's see if it actually if it's printing that as a. So you guys see it made a link. It's not ready to click on it yet. It's probably loading up the link. This is from Jefferson County. Okay, here you guys did. Here's the NED. So this is from Jefferson County, Colorado. And so it's a high level. This is a snapshot. So the total new NEDs shown as multiple cases. So it's saying that it gives you the case number, which would be the J2500448, and it goes all the way through 454. Jefferson, Colorado. The common sale date is April 9th, 2026. So you guys have almost 4 months to negotiate this. They have to publish it. So in this case, so don't when you guys see newspapers and stuff, they have to put in a newspaper. This is the golden transcript, probably. So they have to actually publish these to be illegal. And then these buyers still have months, not days. Strategy is pre-sale, not auction training. So it's going to give you guys strategy. If it's coming up closer to the sale date, they're probably going to be more desperate. So this is one is a condo. So cases to point out, intelligence, not just addresses. It's going to give you, look at this information it gives you. This is a condo in Golden, 8041. Golden Circle, I'm not actually sure where Golden Circle is. So it tells you it's got Shell Point, FNMA. It's a fixed rate. It's a mid 5%. You're gonna be able to get that information too on the NED, on the actual filing for it. So don't worry when it comes up here. You can confirm it by pulling the document from the county. Condo plus HOA. There's a different risk and exit profile. There's a smaller balance. Potential reinstatement or RIFI. So condos behave differently than single family. You guys know that. So know that there's 5 or 6 on here. So it gives you a point where you can then plug these into your, for further evaluation, pull the assessor card. You can have it pull comps in that neighborhood. You can have it generate a map. It's actually pretty accurate. I did a map from Grand Junction, Colorado for Bill Johnson. He lives there, and it came out it almost looked like it was done by Rand McNally, like it was a road atlas. It wasn't like a precision, like going in a neighborhood kind of map, but it showed it, how Rand McNally's kind of look like, you see the interstates and the major roads and stuff. It looked just like that. It was pretty sweet. I didn't really dive deeper on it, but, so you got your FHA single family resident. This is in Arvada, which is kind of northeast of Golden. And this is on 84th Place, so it's a little bit north. It's got an FHA loan. It's adjustable rate. Senior lender lineage, financial freedom. So there you go. You got the mortgage company. FHA plus age, rate change, distress pattern. So this is classic payment shock distress. This might be a good property. So you could then have it do a deeper dive, have it do the deeper dive, pull the comps, look at the area, and kind of get the pictures. You can get pictures and it'll pull up Redfin, Zillow, and all that. Nobody likes to use it as real estate investors, but those sites have a lot of pictures and historical information. Don't use it for the current sale, but get the pictures and stuff because you can use that for comps, ARV, and rehab. Here's a commercial property in Wheat Ridge, which is a little bit east of Golden, kind of northwest of Denver a little bit. Commercial property, commercial loan, borrower is an LLC. You'll be able to get the LLC information off this. It's a private lender, not institutional. That makes it a little bit tougher. Complex legal description. They got multiple parcels. This one might look like, unless you're really into a commercial, that you might want to just skip over this one. It's got a little bit of complexity. Commercial NEDs are strategy rich but paperwork heavy. Most investors skip them. So unless you're really, really into commercial, which you can be. We can set everything up so you can do commercial. This might be one to avoid. Here you get Lakewood. It's on the west side. It's the major city in Jefferson County. It's east, right west of Denver, connects to Denver, and runs up into the mountains. Goes north and south. Pretty good. They got 19 fire stations. That's how big Lakewood is. So this is a VA loan, 2.375% fixed ultra low rate. So it indicates non-rate driven distress, life event, job loss, divorce. So this is not a refinance story. This is a human one. So this is when you want to go into comms mode and you want to just basically copy and paste this whole thing into comms mode and ask it for a strategy and an influencer. So you might get like Chris Voss. Not, you don't get him particularly, but you get all the history that's programmed in about Chris Voss, all his public teaching, sayings, his public appearances, his books, and everything. It'll reference it, so it might help you with the entire strategy packet. Because it's a human case, it could be a life, they could have lost their job, divorce. It could be any kind of life event. So treat them with a little empathy. So you get an FHA single family. This one's on Corridor Circle in Littleton, which is south of the South Jefferson. This is going to be 80128. It's going to have Columbine High School as its high school. So for historical reference, FHA fixed 2.25% long seasoning, likely equity. Solution set is wide. So you can get down to then your strategies on these. You can put these in and ask it in comms mode. What is the strategy for this? Westminster is up north. It's north of Arvada. FHA fixed, traditional family ownership, prime candidate for a workout innovation. So it does know innovation, it does know subject to, it does know the Gator stuff, EMD, everything. So whether you're a TC, you're a lender, or you're an investor, it's got everything for you, or referral. Then you get into rural and acreage. So you can kind of research that. So what we're teaching you is not all NEDs are equal. There's a loan type, there's a property type, there's ZIP, and it all becomes in the strategy. So your AHJ flow matters. So you can go and copy code this into your ecosystem, and that way you're programming your. Yeah. Hey. Oh, do you have a question? Cool. So red flags and signal viewers, condo plus HOA, commercial legal descriptions are interesting. Adjustable versus fixed on the loans, FHA VA loan type. I know, Willie, didn't you say you were doing a VA one a couple weeks ago that you had to ask for help on or something? I went back into this and I made sure that we got a lot of information on VA loans.
Yeah. Oh.
So hopefully we'll be able to have all that the next time you have a VA. The publication dates and the clock. So this is what distress intelligence looks like before it's sold as a list. So we're reading the system where it actually starts. Before it ever gets to any of those prop tech companies or list sellers, it starts at the authority having jurisdiction. And how did I know about the AHJ? I used to be an AHJ. I was the fire chief. So I was the AHJ for fire code. So we can pick any of these NADs and do a live assessor recorded drill down. Or if you guys want to do a segment on future calls. I think what I'm going to try to do in 2026 is I'm going to start doing like one night a week of where we just do drill downs where we're actually going to go through a lot of these scenarios, so people get to learn them how to see an assessor card, and compared to the recorder. So that's something we can definitely do because I know some people want to see the TC stuff. So let's open. Let's review. So we'll start doing a lot of those in January. Including modules. And paperwork. So give it a second to kind of reboot. Yeah, so that's what I said. We'll probably start doing that in January. Maybe on the Wednesdays we'll do a drill down, and then or Mondays. I don't know. We'll do it just like, and then that way I can make them as a lesson, and I can put them out to if you guys, can't be on, and I can kind of go through the processes and try to show a lot of stuff and teach people actually how this, because this is all it's incredible. I keep getting amazed. Nothing has really surprised me. I mean, just at how incredible this is. Every day I'm like, holy crap, we can do more and more every day. So we got TC mode for TCs. Everybody here on right now. I think Michael was on. Michael Lyon. Everybody is on as a TC on here, so we'll go over that. Just let it populate. Yeah, we've been doing power outages all day because of high winds. Like literally, there were some winds like 80 to 100 miles an hour. So the power company was turning off power to like not have the power lines charged when they get blown down. Because that's how that fire got started in Colorado 4 years ago. The power lines went down, burned 1,500 houses. Same power company. I don't think they want to be on the hook for $2 billion this time. So what it is, modules and required paperwork. You guys already know, like TC mode. So you're no longer prospecting, guys. You're protecting timelines, documents, and risk. A TC, in my opinion, and so is that a TC is a risk manager. So think about it as you're a risk manager for your clients, or for your whether they're the lender or they're just an investor. So TC mode is where intelligence becomes execution, and where deals usually die if you're sloppy. This thing's awesome, and we can fire this up. And like I said, you guys are TCs, so if you guys see anything that we need to add, let me know, and we'll make sure it's added. I'm also putting in a lot of resources for VAs and stuff, and I think you commented, Willie, about it. So it's not designed to have like a human. It's designed to be able to have all the agents and stuff act as assistant, do all the deadlines, using Dropbox and Airtable and Zapier and stuff to really become fully functional. But I've looked into some of the dialers and some of the processes of getting like AI voices for like making calls, even sales calls. You can actually train, going back to distress intelligence, you can actually have AI make calls, and it has a human voice, and it's programmed enough where it can ask the questions to the seller. I'm going to experiment with that, look at it for a little while before going into it, just because I still like to treat people who are losing their homes with a little bit more respect than a lot of people do, because I think actually with our system, when you guys go at this level and you get it this early, you have more time to maybe help some people instead of paying like a wholesaler like their assignment fee. What if you could pay half of that, or even to the homeowner, and give them a little bit of a fresh start? Say, hey, instead of 20 grand assignment fee, I give them $10,000, and I that way they can go and restart if they need to go get an apartment or something, and try to put them on the path to home ownership. And then Eric Reisner has that great home ownership program with EXP Realty, so he can help people get back on their feet and hopefully get into a home in another year or two after their foreclosure. Hopefully we can, if we get these early enough too. Also, we get these early enough, we can maybe even get the property without it actually going to foreclosure that goes on their credit report. So there's a lot of good that comes out of. There's nothing but good that comes out of the way we are able to do this. So when it turns on, when you activate TC mode, a seller agrees to terms, a purchase agreement is signed, a trustee sale date is set and strategy defined, a post-sale COP is issued, a probate authority exists, PR appointed, the probate court and then everything is tracked, time-stamped, and verified. And RSIC will timestamp. You can actually run everything on it, and you can set up all your files. There's a program called TaterTot. Have you guys looked at TaterTot? It's up here on my chat. I'm gonna go through a little bit more over the break, and I'm gonna get it down so you guys can use TaterTot, because it's a great way. Like you said, it has a file on there. It's a great way to build your files within, and it's something that's new. It's only been out of, I think it came out with model 5.1, and now we're in 5.2. So here's the modules, guys. We have module 1, case control and timeline. I'm going to go through the modules first, and then if you guys want to go back through them, we can. Otherwise, I'm just going to make it in PDF. So module 1 is case control and timeline. Module 2 gets into paperwork intake and verification. Module 3 is the AHJ cross-checks. So you got everything, all the AHJs and why the AHJ cares. And then you get module 4, risk flags and stop conditions. So kill bad deals easily. It's got all the automatic stop flags. Module 5, closing and post-closing. Then you get the paperwork checklist. So you get all your paperwork everything viewer friendly. So you get the TC mode, and you get everything. You get all the conditional stuff. So what it's not a VA task. It's not paper pushing. It's not optional. It's not done after closing. So the TC mode exists because investors lose deals they thought were under contract. Distress intelligence finds when and where to act. TC mode ensures nothing breaks once you act. So you don't scale deals by finding more leads, you scale by not blowing the ones you already have. TC mode is the safety system, risk management. Let's really quick, let me go ahead and try to do these real quick. And the PDF. Yes, generate PDF. Covering. And let's go ahead and just real quick walk it, since you guys are both TCs and we're going to be using the system. So give me a second for that to populate. So I'll make a PDF. I'll send it both to you guys, and then yeah, it's pretty sweet. We'll kind of show a little bit of it. 112. Like I said, 112 Easy Street is because people think it's like one of those made up. It's like a sample. It's actually a real street. There's actually there's like 20 houses on Easy Street. It's kind of a little bit more rural area. Like I said, it's east of the Air Force Academy. So it's going to pause for a second. And now it's coming back. Okay. I'll ask it real quick. Keep in mind, like I said, it does that a lot now. So I'll just ask it PDF, question mark. I 100% believe that RCIC is unlimited. People can do whatever they need to do, whatever they want to do. They can build onto it. They can build their own GPT within it. It's just, I think it's just, there's never going to be an end to what it can do. And I may not even know. We get 500,000, 2,500 people in it. I may not ever know what everybody's doing with it. I can't see what people do, So let's see if the PDF is okay. Can we get the PDF? I don't know. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that, with everything. It just keeps getting better and better and better. Let's let it analyze for a second. So let it analyze. If it takes a little bit longer, I'll work my way around it. I just like to let it kind of do naturally, otherwise it can get bogged down. You guys can see, like on mine, I got the prompt assistant. I got Homebase. Homebase now has its own GPT Willy, so I separated it because I just wanted to, that way people who have just Homebase are, they're paying like $10 a month. So I figured out how to do a monthly on that. So I got that GPT. I'm setting up a GPT for ClearPath this weekend, which I told Cindy, so I can get all that stuff. That way we're fully operational once I have all that up. And then I got, a lot of other good stuff. I don't know why it's just taking a lot longer. There you go. Now it's populating. So here's the TC mode PDF on proof of concept. So this is one I'll actually send you guys afterwards. If you ever get one that says, like, I don't know if you've seen one that was like code interpreter. disabled or something, you just remind it. If you ever get stuck and for some reason PDF is having issues, just tell it, just ask it to do it in Word, docx, and that you'll convert it locally. Then you can just convert it from Word to PDF in whatever you have, Microsoft Office or whatever. So this PDF has what TC mode when it activates, the 5 modules, a full walkthrough using the 112 easy streak is in there. There should be a walkthrough, clear pre-sale versus post-sale differences, and there's a 1-page SOP summary. So this is clean enough. We can drop into Facebook files, but if you guys want to see it, we'll walk live. Like I said, we're going to start doing these deep dive walkthroughs in January. I think it's just now we're at the point now where we'll do one night a week of just deep dives. And then you can enter TC and operator. This is the system. So it's kind of cool. We can make a fillable version, and we can actually make a checklist. So I'll have it real quick. I'm just going to go ahead because I think it's a lot of information in this chat. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and can you generate the title, description, hashtags, and a visual under 1.99 megabytes for YouTube. I will generate. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It'll do a lot of good stuff with that. So I'll get that out to you guys like as soon as we're good. It'll take about 20 minutes after we. So I'm going to generate this now. Like I said, we can put headers and footers. I'm trying to give you guys a lot of this stuff without branding on it, mine, so you guys can add yours. Or you guys can make a, whatever your logos and stuff are. Let it generate these resources just to show you guys what it can do. You can do all your marketing and all that stuff. Wait, how much marketing are you doing with yours? You doing a lot of any of your like visuals and stuff? So I plugged in a couple of days ago. I plugged in some stuff for actually making listings for agents and brokers. It's kind of cool. Eric was pretty happy. He was like, "Man, people pay money for that." I'm like, okay, generate YouTube assets. So it knows YouTube is YT, Facebook is FBX. It does Patreon. It'll generate stuff for Medium for bigger pockets. You can make a lot of stuff. You can ask it to be humanized. You can ask it not to be salesy. I've been posting some stuff in some groups where it's like I'm doing like a fact-finding thing. What do people think of this? What do they have struggling with? You can do a lot of stuff with it, comms mode-wise. You can have it speak in other, like, if you're not comfortable speaking in a different way, pull an influencer up. Don't like do Patty Main or David Sterling if you're trying to be empathetic. Those guys are kind of, the SAS guys from World War II weren't exactly politically correct. So if you guys ever want to see a cool miniseries, go look at SAS Rogue Heroes and you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's pick one. So I'll have a title. It made my description. It did my hashtags and my tags. And then I can do I made the thumbnail. We'll see what the thumbnail actually looks like. So yeah, I made all that for me for my yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use 3 because I just like why deals die. Yeah, and then I got my, see, pretty much that's everything I got, man. I got a lot of good stuff on there. I'm going to go ahead and stop share real quick. I'll let that finish on its own. You guys got any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to take the recording off.